Let the alpha be the alpha.
The battle begins.
Rampage.
Dire victory.
With the Strafe Esports app, follow your favorite teams and players, and you'll never miss a match again. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.
Ahoy, and welcome back to the AMD SAPPHIRE Dota Pit Season 6. We're here with day number 3. It's Elimination Day. We're going to be running through that lower bracket, 5 best of ones, and then we're going to close out the day with the epic upper bracket finals. I believe it's Liquid versus Vici Gaming. Winner of that will be in the grand finals, boys. A lot to look forward to today.
Seems like it. Liquid obviously had a pretty good run through everything. I mean, they're the only undefeated team still in the tournament, but Vici Gaming looks like the strongest team after that. I mean, the last best of 3 they did, they just ran over VP so hard.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to take a look at the bracket here just to refresh ourselves of everything that you might have missed on days 1 and 2. A couple of upsets along the way. OG in that lower bracket. First up today, we will have SG Esports versus Immortals. Then it'll be that OG Fnatic series. And after that, we're just chugging on through that lower bracket.
Yeah, I mean, SG Esports actually looked really good in that best of 3 series, the opening round against Newbie. They came really close to taking it. And this is probably the most exciting series for me in the day because you don't know what's going to happen. SG versus Immortals, I think, is going to be really crazy in terms of the draft and what's going to happen in the game.
Yeah, especially in that first game they had against Newbie, they won. It was actually, I mean, we say, oh, in the best of ones, you might cheese them up, but we saw that Wraith King Dazzle where you summon the skeleton, just heal bomb everyone. They looked really good. They took that game off of Newbie. Unfortunately, lost 2 in a row, and now they were in the losers bracket.
Yeah, that was they had a bounty hunter that game as well, and we've seen bounty hunter banned out. I think mostly by Fnatic, but they were the only team that's actually played a bounty hunter. I think so
Immortals played it.
Oh, Immortals
they
played it
played
as
it
well?
in game number 2, and they got kind of trounced 30 minutes. So
battle for the bounty hunter, maybe.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough. I think the biggest question about this series is how is Dirge going to be viewed? It feels like so far it's only been SG and Vici who have been playing it. Vici played it to great success, obviously, while SG they lost both games they played it. So
I think they picked it with the IO in the 3rd game that they lost, and it was just kind of an interesting support pairing, but it felt like Bernino just couldn't get enough done on the Undying, which was really interesting in comparison to what we saw later on in the tournament.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing. I mean, Undying, it's a very strong laner, and then he falls off super hard, and we saw how Vici played it. They just paired it with Young 11 wherever he went, and then he just dominated the game because of that, and it felt like the other way around. I mean, IO Dirge just doesn't get much done. Like, if you lose with that in the early game, you lose the game.
Yeah, and it also seems like pairing him with some sort of a push to try to close out the game is pretty key. We saw, like, Death Prophet was a big one. We've talked about Pugna a lot, especially since now you can decrypt the Tombstone. It's pretty exciting. Yes, yes. I'm glad you brought up the Wisp, though, because we've actually only seen Wisp once this tournament, and it was in that Game 3. SG are the only team that have played it. Do you think in this best of 1, is that a time where you pull out the Wisp, or is he a little too scary right now?
I think he might get banned. I mean, this is the 2 teams who play in America, and I mean, Wisp is almost perma-banned versus, Cole, EG, all those teams. I mean, this is the biggest region you see it in. I think more than likely it'll get banned out in a best of 1.
Okay, absolutely. So have these teams ever faced off before? I don't think so.
I don't think
this
so
is
either.
one of those first-time clashes, the all-Brazilian squad versus the all-South Korean squad.
Because now that they're separated, I mean, SA and NA, you don't see as much except in here, which it should be good. I'm sure more than possibly they've definitely scrimmed against each other, though.
I hear it's not so fun playing North America versus South America
and then
cross-server.
You have to argue who gets what, and then let's just not scrim.
One team gets 350 ping. Great practice, huh?
I think it's not too bad, like 200 ping, but still 200 compared to LAN ping is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's a world of difference. So a lot to look forward to today for sure. Other key heroes in this first series, and I say series lightly because it is just one game. We talked about Wisp and Undying. Who else is coming on? Is there a chance the Beastmaster could make
I think it gets banned, especially after last night. I just don't think it gets through. I think it's really strong right now.
We see him in one game, and it's basically a flawless performance. No deaths. He goes Necronomicon level 1, doesn't even upgrade it. That was also an interesting change because we've been debating on the panel what is the state of Necrobook, and how does that impact Beastmaster?
It seemed like he just got it for the percentage-based abilities. Just get one level of it, and you can just run at people with the new buff. I would say it's a buff to axes. It lost some damage, but you get that increased damage from all your other abilities, including right clicks.
Okay.
And just insanely good, especially with that Solar Crest he picked up. I think we'll see that ban. I think him and Bane and Night Stalker are all just 3 perma-bans. The heroes that got through yesterday, Nyx got through. We saw it picked once and then ignored completely one game. I think that might be a hero who gets through, and I'm not sure how good that hero actually is now. It doesn't feel like he got nerfed that hard.
Yeah.
But who knows? Until people stop banning it, you don't know.
Right. Now, Maud, I'm sure this patch has excited you a lot because your boy Viper, he's been the talk of the town.
He's pretty good. I mean, we saw him yesterday a lot. I think the new Nether Toxin's insane. I didn't realize he had a break until, like, just recently. It was like Trent and I were casting, like, what is this? What is this ability?
Oh, against that PA when he just made that PA feel so bad in game. But we did see Viper fail, in the safe lane? I believe it was played out by OG.
No Tail, yeah.
No Tail played it, but when it was played middle by Liquid, it just felt really good. He's still a huge lane dominator. Obviously, he has less of that, like the bonus damage in lane, but he can spam out waves now. And as Viper, you're like, I don't have wave clear. Guess what? You do now.
That game could have been, I don't want to use the word fluke, but the way No Tail itemized, he went for the Boots of Travels really early, and it seemed like that kind of slowed down his momentum.
It's like the weirdest build you're ever going to see on a Viper because it's the new patch. It was like Veil bots, essentially, which is really strange for Viper players, but it almost worked out, I think, at the end of the day.
I think Veil's guaranteed now, though, with how good the Nether Toxin is. Like, it just
and
the
the
increased
spell
damage.
lifesteal
Yeah,
on top of
exactly.
it.
The 8%, it feels good because all his abilities get even the poison tech. No matter how little it is, you always have that life coming back. And he still feels unkillable with that Cross's skin in the mid game.
Yeah, was it you that brought up the idea of like the Coddle plus Viper so that you can get the Nether Toxin all over the place?
No, that sounds terrible.
That might have been a Lacoste suggestion there. Sorry for projecting.
It sounds like a Lacoste suggestion. It sounds good, but it wouldn't work. Yeah, it's classic Lacoste.
But you can cover the whole Roche pit in poison, Grant.
You
think of the break.
Think of it. Think of all these heroes hit level 25 we've been talking about, and they all just get these immaculate talents. One of the biggest talents we did see, though, one of the biggest picked is Winter Wyvern, actually. You're talking about heroes we might see. That might get banned out, if not first pick. And we saw him level 25, the 2-second stun from Splinter Blast. When it got into late game, that thing is actually insane. He's good early, mid, and late game.
It feels like almost a mini Ravage. It's just an AoE 2-second stun.
I mean, and we've seen numerous good players play it, too. Like, I think Pylai Dai played it yesterday. Then we had Kaka, who played it amazingly in a couple of the games they had. So,
is there a team that hasn't played Winter Wyvern? That might be a better... Actually, I think Immortals has not played it. Yeah, they didn't pick it in either game, and it was banned... Okay, it was banned in both games, so that's not their fault.
I think the biggest thing here is going to be it's going to be the offlane. I feel like we saw Laposa when he played. He didn't play like game-changing heroes like we saw 11 playing. He played a Jakiro in one of them, and I feel like Jakiro in the offlane now just doesn't do enough. You need your offlaner to do something, and when you have a Jakiro, he just doesn't do anything. Going up against Farev, who probably looked the best out of everyone on Immortals in the first day when they got 2-0'd. I think it really comes down to who's the bigger playmaker out of those two.
25 talents. Puck is one we got to see yesterday.
We did.
And I was on the camp of I think Gold was still going to be the reigning champ. And now that we saw the machine gun Dream Coil, I think I'm becoming a believer. If he has a gold for the Mjolnir when he hits level 25, it's pretty devastating.
It used to be predominantly gold per minute instead of the distance speed.
Well, the move speed on Orb was a little... I mean, it's cool, but how do you pass up 400 gold
Exactly. The 420 gold per minute was like game break. But now it's a bit more even, I think, in terms of what you can pick up in terms of the talents at level 25. So we'll see probably a lot more different choices, I would say.
Yeah, I think you get that because they were playing single core when he got it right. That was the game they had AM, I believe, Vici Gaming.
Take a look here.
I want to say that was the game, if I'm not mistaken, or was it the second game?
I don't remember if it was the first. It was either an AM or a Nakes.
Either way,
they had Puck
it was single core, so they needed damage. I mean, we saw him. He got the Mjolnir up on the Puck. They just needed another form of physical damage. I think you might not see that every time because I think we saw Puck earlier in the first day actually got the 420 gold per minute. It really just depends because like if you get 420 gold per minute, moon shards for everyone, but who needs a moon shard when you have a single core AM? Like no one really needs it, so just get it yourself.
Yeah, AM has had a pretty good tournament so far. Every single game, it looks like that hero is borderline unstoppable.
That Liquid game was absolutely insane. It was like 1v5 essentially at the end. It was nuts.
999 gold per minute, one off that 1,000 mark, but I just think that hero is extremely good. And we saw Vici when they ran it as well in the single core. That save, he was actually, I think, 300 HP from dying without a buyback. They would have lost the game. They somehow, with the two saves, Omni and Winter Wyvern, won the game because of that more than the AM. But I mean, AM just so good. Like
the way they itemized. That was the game where they had the Aghanims and the Lincolns on AM, plus 2 more Lincolns, plus a Lotus Orb, and then the heroes you just
and
listed
even
off.
Aether Lens. We're not seeing much Aether Lens, but we saw it on the Omni-9. His repels were coming from like just super far away now that it got buffed.
Aether Lens is just a very niche item now. It feels like it's in a good, maybe a better place. I like that it's not the default for spellcaster heroes, but it really works in those niche situations.
I mean, Pugna 2, I think it was picked up yesterday, which it makes sense. That was the one I saw, I believe. But
yeah, because his life drain got nerfed, I believe, 100 range, and then you add that 250 instead on the Aether Lens, and you're still fine with that because that's actually a pretty harsh nerf to Pugna, because that's the biggest thing is how good his life drain was. You could do it like across the river, and by nerfing it 100 at nighttime, it's nearly impossible to do that.
Okay. Well, folks, we will have our first match starting momentarily. Immortals versus SG Esports. We just tried to load, and unfortunately, the server kicked us out. So we're going to try another one here. Hopefully, we can get this draft started momentarily. But don't worry, a lot of Dota coming your way in the very near future.
Yep, there is. And I'm looking at the support duos, right? You have Febby as well as Dubu against Bardino, and him as a captain. Yeah, Theo Lecor. I love Theo. I've been casting his games. He used to play with a guy named Therence, Theo and Therence. I just love pronouncing the name. The THs, I love pronouncing the name, but they're both extremely good. So it's nice to see them finally get on a team, at least Theo Lecor up on SG, and they've qualified to a lot of events, which is good. They keep getting last seed, which really does suck for them, but they get to play some of the best opponents, and they took a game off Newbie. We've seen him before beat EG, beat Secret.
I think you and I have talked about the best teams in South America, and I think we think SG's probably up there, I would assume.
There's 2 teams, SG and Infamous. The rest are, I mean, you have Midas Club, Elite, who aren't terrible, but they lost a lot of players to this team. Like SG, Bardeno used to be on Midas Club Elite.
Yep. Well, boys, let's do it. We've got a draft. Game number 1. Let's go.
And already we see the bans. No Beastmaster ban unless it's last, and it is not. Will they instantly pick it up for Forev is the question.
Oh, and I really like the Spearbreaker ban because they played against Faith on Newbie, and he destroyed them. Yeah, and Wisp is open too now. It's available to be picked. We'll see if Immortals reps it.
Viper
Oh,
instead.
Nice.
So will this just, that'd be hilarious if they just take IOBM.
They know Mott's on the panel.
Yeah, they're ready.
Pandering to the audience.
Viper's just a good pick, and here we go. They're actually going to go with Bounty Hunter.
Oh, Beastmaster, come on. Oh, the Rubik, wow. They didn't go Beastmaster. That's crazy.
I'm pretty surprised.
Yeah, I think they go Bounty Hunter. Both these teams are the teams who like to play it. It's a good roamer. You can also come from behind with that hero. He's one of the few. He feels kind of bad to play from behind, but you can always catch up with him. And then Rubik, just one of those good laners. So they have an aggressive support duo already, which a lot better than a Dirge.io, right? Dirge.io, no aggressive capability. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter, Rubik, tons.
Yeah, last time they ran that Bounty Hunter, it was paired with a Dazzle. It's just a little more defensive in nature compared to the Rubik, especially with the changes to the Null Field now. But Tusk will be the second. So those 2 big heroes we've been talking about, the Wisp and the Beastmaster, we'll see if they survive this second round of bans.
Yeah, I'd like if both teams were like, oh, neither one of us is going to pick it. Oh, well, let's just leave it.
They have a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, I do like Tusk. We saw it, I believe, once yesterday. OG played it with Jarex, and it was against that Magnus on that game where they just empowered Jug, and he just couldn't get a Blink Dagger soon enough, and that Magnus just ran over him.
Yep.
Yeah, that game felt like they had bigger problems than the Tusk. There was also that was the Phoenix Centaur Storm lineup for OG. That was just a really tough game.
Yep.
Felt like they tried farming a lot, and unfortunately with that lineup, you can't really do that. And then Tusk, I mean, it was good in theory. They definitely got him for that save, but there was just such good positioning, like throughout the entire game by that Magnus. Probably one of the best solo performances this tournament, honestly.
Yeah, 11 just downing.
Bloodseeker ban for SG makes me wonder if maybe an anti-mage could be something they're considering.
Could be. We've seen anti-mage, like you said, one of the best heroes right now. It's so hard to shut him down. We saw when it was Bloodseeker versus AM, and Ramsey solo killed him a bunch of times. That's how good he is, but AM still, won in the late game.
Also, Bloodseeker's a QO hero, I believe. Plays it a lot. So, I mean, it's just a good ban against Immortals at this point.
Yeah. Yesterday on the panel, I was saying that it felt like Dota in the last couple patches was really about the position 4s, and it's starting to feel, to me at least, like this patch is really about the position 1s. Like the carries have been getting a lot of space and making those big plays to close out games. You guys agree with that assessment, or you think it's too early to say?
A little bit. I think it's more that there's so many bans, 6 bans now. You can ban out so many 4 heroes. All the good 4 heroes are banned out almost every game. I think that's one of the big things.
Yeah. We do, and you can just look at it anecdotally in this game. A lot of 4 heroes taken out. Even now with Lich, a lot of supports not going to be in the pool.
And Doom goes down. We saw played a couple times. We saw played in the off lane one time by Young 11, and then support role by VP. And I don't know. Support Doom's just not very good, but as a 4-roll, or as a 3-roll, pardon me, it seems like one of the best heroes. He doesn't lose 1v1 matchups. Doom actually beats Beastmaster in a 1v1 lane. Doom is so good.
So, by the way, Beastmaster's still available. They didn't ban him out in the second ban phase either, which is really interesting. And also important to note, this is a best of one, so we could see one of those interesting niche picks, I guess you could call it. Something like a Meepo or something like that we used to see a lot of the time in BO1s.
I don't think either of these teams really play, but an Arc Warden from SG is known to play that. I think Immortals definitely knows that. I mean, these are technically the two American teams here, North American, South American, so they know each other better than most teams do.
So, Grant, I've got a quick question. SG, they used to have a player named fucking A.
Still do.
Well, which one is it? Is it Costa Bile?
I think it is, yeah.
So a name change to, what is, I wonder what Costa Bile means. It's an interesting.
I'm sure you could look it up.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Going to.
I think Bryce and I talked about it, and we
Google.
tried looking it up, and we couldn't figure it out.
I wouldn't be surprised if they told him he needed to change his name, because the same with Mad from OG, right? It used to be F and Mad.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I just changed it. I mean, it's a smart idea for marketing on it. Let's be real with that.
It's true. Yeah, it's definitely true.
Yep. And now they're using all the reserve time up. SG really thinking about this, because there's still a ton of good heroes here. They need a counter to Viper in the mid lane. Not even a counter, just something that can stand up to a Viper, which even with that new skill change, it's still so hard to go against him. You can't really put a melee there.
Yep.
Something like Alina isn't terrible.
How do you feel about Quap?
Quap? It's not bad, but versus Tusk, you know, if you get that snowball and then you get the ice shards coming out of it after he blinks, it's almost a guaranteed kill.
Yep.
But Quap's always good.
There's a couple of options.
If you type in Costa Bile, the first hit is the actor that played Gale Bedecker in Breaking Bad. The actor's name is David Costa Bile.
I think I actually ended up looking this up like 2 weeks ago, too.
So who knows? Maybe it's an homage to Breaking Bad, some sort of a drug dealing reference. Who knows?
There we go. It's actually going to be the Razor.
Okay.
That's an old school.
Oh, and look at this
Viper.
instant anti-mage.
They knew.
I mean, SG was the team who banned the Bloodseeker, and then Immortals instantly takes it, and they're going to feel pretty good. You already have one of your cores as a Razor who's not the best versus anti-mage, honestly.
We were arguing about this off camera yesterday, but is there a counter to anti-mage right now? I don't even think the Bloodseeker is really that effective. In a 1v1, of course, you see Rupture is good. You can't blink away, all that stuff, but that's a very limited contextual counter. AM can still split push, take over the map. What do you do here if you're SG Esports?
It's going to be tough. I think the biggest counter is just running like the OG did with their core Venge when they took 4 Raxes. They couldn't finish that game off, but I still think just a heavy push is the way to go versus AM, but I don't think SG can even do that right now unless they take a Beastmaster, but they would have already taken it if they wanted it, right?
Do you think they can do Nature's Prophet maybe in terms of that push for SG Esports, or is that off the table at this point?
Nature's Prophet in the off lane isn't like the worst thing that could happen, but versus a Viper anti-mage, I mean, you're going to have a Quelling Blade, you can't gank anti-mage.
True.
It'll be a Sand King, and SG's still one of the few teams who likes running that in the off lane.
Yep.
And they've been running a ton. I mean, even when they had who was it? They had King RD and all them, they were running Sand King in the off lane almost every game.
Yep. There's that lockdown that they need in this game.
Yep. That's so. Especially against anti-mage as well as Viper, just shut him down. You get one Sand King Stone with the Razor static linking, plenty of damage. But it feels like they're already on I mean, obviously against an anti-mage with 2 not very good scaling cores, they're already on a time window.
Just to come full circle here, his last name is Costa Bile. So no Breaking Bad reference. It's just his name. We went way too many levels deep on that one. My apologies.
I don't know. I say we.
All right. Well, I tried to lump us together there, guys. I messed up. My bad. That's on me.
I think
I digress.
Yeah, Immortals here now, they're probably going to pick their 5 hero if they really want. No, they're going to pick their off-laner, so off-lane Puck, middle Viper, carry anti-mage.
Yeah,
and
Puck feels like that unsung hero this patch. He's just been slipping through, not ban-worthy, but he's been getting picked up in a lot of games.
And it feels weird. 6 bans, and you can't ban out this Puck who's been insanely good. Obviously, people thought it was going to be a nerf. It doesn't do damage on impact anymore with his ultimate. But now we see even like Pudges and more Force Staffs paired up with him, and it's a 300 damage like break at level 1.
The break's
That's
nuts.
just insane. And we see that now. They just want team fight. You have an anti-mage. You're already going to outscale whatever SG picks here.
Ah, Disruptor. That could be an okay counter to Anti-Mage, right? Glimpse him back, Static Storm, Kinetic Field.
Well, they banned it out themselves.
I know, but it just made me think of,
Yeah.
like, that's a potential way to deal with Anti-Mage that we haven't brought up yet.
Makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised to see an Arc Warden ban, actually, from Immortals here.
Ooh, that is one of the pocket picks for SG, right?
And it's one of those that can actually scale decently, and a good pusher. You get, like, 2 or 3 kills, and that guy can just split push a lane while pushing another lane himself.
It's so hard to play up against that hero, even with an anti-mage. It's just so annoying if you get ahead for SG.
I'm interested to see just SG. either they go full mid game or they just pick a super late game and hope they win those early game team fights with Sand King. But you have a Bounty Hunter. Like, Bounty Hunter doesn't team fight. That's just not what he does. You want those early game pickoffs, but it just feels like SG's really spread out in their picks here.
Which of these heroes on Immortals are you going to pick off with the Bounty Hunter, right? All very elusive, and now they finish off with the Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, but that was an instant pick Ancient Apparition after the ban, so shuts down if they wanted any sort of healing hero per se, but
that's kind of the only hero that Bounty Hunter will be able to pick on in the early levels.
I'm really interested to see. I mean, they only have 20 seconds to pick. SG Esports using a ton of their reserve time earlier.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts besides Arc Warden here?
Really with Bloodseeker banned out. Terrorblade's banned out as well.
Yeah.
It just seems really rough, and we're going to find out right now, though. It's going to be Chaos Knight.
Okay.
So a hero that actually can go up against Anti-Mage in the mid to late game if he gets a nice Reality Rift, not minus armor, but it's going to be hard to lock him down still.
Yeah. Chaos Knight, we haven't seen him yet, but on paper, I think he could be pretty strong.
Yeah.
Always that threat. If he gets massive, man, he can just punish.
There were
a
some
lost
good changes
team
for
fight.
talents, too, I think, for him. I like it a lot.
I think SG has extremely strong, like 10 to 30 minute lineup here, and if they get a ton of track gold and just snowball from there, they can definitely win this. But if it gets past the 30-minute mark and QO has Battle Fury Manta +1, it just could be really hard. It really is just how this laning phase is going to go. And with the Bounty Hunter, it could be an aggro trialing with AA. You never know. I mean, AA Tusk plus a Puck even. Like, you don't even need that lockdown. Sounds weird, but if they just lock down those lanes, because Viper's going to win his lane solo.
Yep.
Well, what do we think here, boys? Who's your money on? Mott, who's taking this best of one?
I actually really like the CK pick, but I do think it's going to be Immortals. I have a feeling. I just think Anti-Mage is really strong right now. We talked about Viper and Puck as well. I have to just put it on Immortals at this point.
I also just like the Tusk AA combo. Ice Shards with the Cold Feet, the Chilling Touch. It just feels like a support duo that can get a lot done.
I'm going to go with SG, though. I just think they're going to win that early game, get a ton of track kills, and 4DR, I still say he's one of the highest individually skilled players that a lot of people don't know about, so see what he can do on a Razor.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll respect him enough to call him ADR.
Good, but if he wanted me to call him ADR, he'd make his name ADR.
Oh, that might be true. All right, I think I'm actually with Mott. I'm on the Immortal camp. The AM has looked too impressive throughout this tournament, and as long as QO, like you said, if they can make it past 30 minutes, I think that AM is going to be hell in a handbasket to deal with.
Well said.
Yes.
Well said.
Yes, all right. Well, we've got some broadcasters for you guys. Don't worry. It's Suns fan and Trent Pax now to take it away.
Thanks, Ziori. Welcome, everybody. My name is Suns fan, joined by Trent Pax. How dare you laugh at me at the beginning of the game? It's already started. We got Immortals versus SG. If I were Immortals, just in general, I'd be super scared of this South American squad for a best-of-1 elimination match, Trent.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of what they came out with right at the end, too. I think the Chaos Knight was probably the best pick left. I was kind of thinking some burst, right? You got to try and lock down this Anti-Mage, maybe some control. I was kind of picturing perhaps an Ursa or a Sven, but the CK is just perfect. I think we're going to be looking for Rubik this game, right? Bardino himself, he needs to look to find that break. If they can manage to steal that from the Viper, lay it down when they stun the AM, it's going to be a great way to get through that spell shield and actually bring this hero down. But he's kind of been one of the big banes of the tournament, man. This Anti-Mage is terrifying.
The big Banes, you say?
Yes. Well, we don't get Bane anymore because he's banned every game.
We're going to have to hold that thought. We're going to have a smoke into the entirety of Immortals. There's a Burrow Strike onto Anti-Mage. Lots of damage coming through. The Chaos Bolt is there. That's going to be first blood going of SG. It's going to be the trade of Sand King, though. 1-for-1 as Febby taking some right clicks, attempting to run away. MP in the meantime taking the brunt of the damage as well. One more Chaos Strike, and that's going to be another death for Immortals as SG. They lose the Sand King, and they get 2 cores. Damn. That's a good start. Trent Pax at twitter.com. We have a telekinesis now.
Oh, steals the bounty room.
Illusory Orb is available, though, and Forev will be okay.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of a mix-up in the lanes. We're going to have that kind of classic counter. Razor in the mid lane versus the Viper. Just able to work around with that static link. Make things a little bit easier compared to most heroes versus the Green Menace.
Yeah, I'm thinking when you pick a Viper, I feel like, OD, Razor, I think that's it.
Yeah.
The only 2 heroes I can think of that can stand playing against this guy 1v1.
Yeah, no one else has a really good time. Other than that, you just kind of, well, you shove the wave, right? That was kind of the old goal. You just kind of ignore the Viper as much as possible. But now Viper, he's got this whole Nether Toxin thing. He can kind of clear some waves himself. So he's quite the hero to deal with in the mid lane right now.
Let's call it Nether Toxin 2.0 because some people haven't read patch notes yet.
Okay,
just
sounds
to keep
good.
everybody on their toes here. Looks like we have the Sand King bottom against a tri-lane of sorts. Tusk Ancient Apparition AM. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, not the easiest situation for Leposa. I mean, you can see how he has to play it, right? He's still level 1. He's just kind of fiddling around in the trees here, trying to leech some experience.
Yeah, they're going to start with the Ice Shards here. All they can really do is right-click. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, MP taking a lot of damage from the right-click. Their Steep Plasma Field isn't going to be enough. Indeed, another kill for SG. That is the second death for the Viper. Not a hero that really has much in the way of comeback mechanics. It is quite early, though.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. But it is something to see Theolicor getting stuff done right in the early game. This was banned out, I believe, in a lot of the games so far versus SG, kind of taking out in that very first phase, not getting a lot of chances to play the hero here. So still looking for that courier snipe, hasn't quite found it yet. Continuing to lurk around here in the back lines. We'll find Febby's rotation.
Oh, wow. Leposa taking so much damage from this chilling touch. It's not going to be enough to actually get a kill, doesn't look like. As Febby trying to get here with the Ice Shards. Does he have the range? Not going to try for it. If he had Snowball, perhaps he would have attempted it.
Oh, nice. Great steal there, too. Getting that bounty run away from Dubu. On the one hand, AA is a great hero to pick on when you're a bounty hunter, but Sand King's not exactly the best partner. I mean, obviously, Darkseer is kind of the dream. Maybe even some heroes like Spirit Breaker or something like that when you get that in the core role. But for the most part, still rather difficult to get early kills for this bounty hunter. Obviously, you have an AM who can blink away. You have a Viper who they've managed to take down twice already, which is pretty great for them. But other than that, very tanky. And then you have a Puck, who's obviously very mobile. So rough game to be a bounty hunter.
Yeah, Febby in the meantime, just harassing the Razor a little bit, trying to help out MP since he does have 2 deaths to his name so far. It's funny, though, Bounty Hunter's early game might change a little bit because of the new patch. Courier auto upgrades at 3. You don't even
it's true.
You're not going to be sitting there hoping that they're not upgrading at 3. So that's pretty much out of the question because you cannot kill.
Oh, nice little sentry mid. We'll spot his rotation.
Especially with the invulnerability as well. Forev, top lane, tells Knist, but the Illusory Orb is in time. Jaunts away safely.
I guess they just thought they couldn't kill him or something? Didn't have the double stun. Maybe someone was on cooldown. Either way, he's back now, so rather dangerous.
Reality Rift is back up, along with Chaos Bolt. Telekinesis up into bottom lane in the meantime. Burrow Strike. Snowball goes right through the shards, but Leposa will be fine to see another day. Goes for the 1-0-1 build at the moment.
This is such like old school supporting now. We've been seeing this tournament, right? These 2 heroes just down here the whole time. You don't have Tusk rotating anywhere, AA doing anything. They're all just working together against this one offlaner. And well, Bounty Hunter,
oh yeah, he
the
has
dream
Janata
is real.
now. That's nice, nice and tasty.
Not fast enough on the protective shield.
Yeah, it's invulnerability, man. The question is, what goes through that invulnerability? I'm pretty sure Culling Blade probably still does a Sonic Wave. I'm assuming.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know if it's invulnerability or if it's just BKB or what, buddy.
I mean, if it's anything like it used to be, because originally there was the shield on the Courier. Never had the speed boost. They've switched it back again. A lot of Dota 1 things back into the fray, which I think is super cool.
Bit of a theme here.
A little nostalgic for people like myself that are extremely old and decrepit.
Bit of a risky play there from Forev, though. Gets rewarded. He just managed to grab both bounty runes because of it. Maybe exposing himself because the orb was on cooldown. CK was rotating over, but they didn't go for the play there with the lift.
And Leposa does not actually get hit by those Ice Shards. It pushes him out. Nice and safe. QO in the meantime, 28 and 12. And on the other side, we have CK with 24 and 14. Top lane, though, Forev, very, very short-range Illusory Orb, and because of that, they're able to Reality Rift him down. So SG with a 4-1 advantage, 2,000 gold advantage in their favor at this very early stage.
Yeah, I will say Forev's been playing very well up top, though. I would consider this a pretty dangerous lane for a Puck, obviously just because you have 2 people with stuns, so it's kind of hard to work around with the orb. You can't play with it just to get every single last hit and everything. And overall, he's doing pretty well to survive. Now, mind you, his last hits, of course, aren't going to be up there. That's just what you can expect. So going to be some pretty late items here on the Puck, especially if he does end up going for these treads. I'd be a little surprised. I feel like he's probably just going to end up saving straight for the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Then again, let's say he gets an earlier Blink. Like, he basically has to wait for the AA6 anyway to get kills.
Oh, bottom lane, Leposa gets latched on up. Being able to Burrow Strike out to safety, but the cold feet keeps him in place, trying to deny himself, but Dubu will be able to get that last hit. Yeah, mid lane, Viper dies again. That is a 3rd death for SG in this mid lane. Not a great start for Viper. We talked about how he doesn't really have great comeback mechanic. Haven't really talked about the fact that Nether Toxin, the break mechanic, we talked about it being stolen, but for their team, it's actually quite good, especially with Unstable Current being changed to attack every 5 seconds, I want to say, and Purge. in an AoE. Very strong ability now, although he doesn't have that leveled up as of yet.
I mean, you can also see the builds here, right? We're not even seeing the passive from the Viper, so we're not seeing the Nether Toxin, or sorry, the passive from the Razor, so we're not seeing the Nether Toxin from the Viper. He didn't have the supports to really help out either. You can imagine Ice Shards and Nether Toxin would work really well together. You're trapping someone that little AoE for extra time, increasing your overall damage towards them, but he's only just now getting those rotations because they had to babysit this AM.
And we'll see how this progresses right now, but MP, in the meantime, talked about him getting pretty shut down here. 17-3 as far as CS is concerned versus the 35-18. And we're talking about a fully 2-level advantage.
Yeah, he's
in favor
destroying him.
Of Razor.
He's just been walking on him over and over, even when the supports weren't helping out. The 1v1 was terrible.
Basically have a tri-lane here mid for the moment. Top lane. Another initiation, this time on Forev. Not going to be able to find him this time. But damage is done. Shrine is available. Looks like they'll use it. And this tower taking a little bit of a beating here as Chaos Knight going for a pretty early Midas. That's going to help him quite a bit. Not the greatest farming hero in the game, so that essentially counteracts that completely.
We'll probably be ignoring him for the next 5 minutes or so. Heroes I would want to watch would be Sand King, Laposa. Currently just getting up to like 7 last hits. He was just at 3 a moment ago. He's finally getting a little bit of breathing room here with those supports tri-laning mid that we kind of talked about.
Yeah, space created now.
Yeah, we need to see him get that Blink Dagger so that they can start this big snowball that we want them to have. Want to see Theolacor get into the track. See if they're quick on the finger this time here. Down bottom and 1. And oh, there it is. Oh, so well done. Look, that was like last moment, man. He was like swinging through on that courier.
Everyone's hunting that courier. Bottom lane, though, we do have a smoke by SG. Burrow Strike is going to be applied to AM. Laposa trying to bait this in. We'll see if QO has the quick fingers on his blink. Telekinesis is available. They're going to definitely need that.
Oh, everybody's here. It's a party.
Oh, yeah, they need this. Mango's available, so Burrow Strike could be there if they really want to. But this might be a little bit obvious.
Laposa's trying to play it cool, but it didn't work.
A little too cool for school, it seems. And QO just hiding underneath his tower, and 1 blink should bring him to safety if needed. Yeah, he sees the amalgamation of heroes here. And Bounty Hunter, unfortunately, no real stun to work with because it is a hero called Bounty Hunter. Tier 1 tower taking a lot of damage, though.
Yep, see what they can get done the other lanes here for the Radiant. Now it looks like they're trying to just keep those supports hidden up top, hope that someone will rotate in, make good use of this Dream Coil. But their push, obviously not quite as close as the one there on the Dire, so should get this tower likely for free. I mean, potential rotations. If someone starts rotating top now, they could set something up. Yeah, Febi's actually down bottom, eh?
Yeah, does that mean they want to actually defend this? Reality Rift, or sorry, the Phantasm is popped. Only gets 1 cuddly guy along with them, so loses the RNG battle this time around. And it's just going to die right off the bat to the tower, looks like. So ends up being a completely wasted ult for CK. And he's able to finish his Midas here pretty shortly. But because of this rotation bottom, I feel like that's opened up a lot of space for Immortals to regain farm on heroes like Viper in mid, who's been untouched now.
They weren't getting any sort of structure damage, but Puck, you can see, obviously, after 20 last hits, really needed that room.
And Razor looks like he's going for has a casual Yasha right now. We'll be going for the full SNY. Bounty Hunter level 4 right now, looking to pick up that tome most likely. Looks like he's going to be harassing Dubu here, also level 4 right now. Gets off the cold feet, just a little bit of harassment between the two.
Okay, so that failed rotation, at least in terms of like fully getting the tower, seems to have worked out very well for Immortals now. As that lead is starting to dwindle a little bit with that gold being stacked up on the Radiant heroes.
Viper's finally on the other side of the river. That's the first time we've seen this entire game. Quickly backtracks, remembering that he's died 3 times this game, so doesn't want to get too crazy here. Bounty Hunter shows himself, but not all harassment to be done.
Yeah, and ADR is just running through the Dire jungle. That's kind of your standard Razor stuff, just ulting, trying to get every camp he can. He gets a nice stack off there too. Plus the use of his new Unstable Current passive is great for this.
Yeah, for sure. It's a pretty cool skill. Definite buff overall, I would say. Haven't really gotten to see him, I don't think, this tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
It's one of those skills that has amazing value at level 1 as well. It starts at 100 damage and then only scales by 30 every single time. Yeah, so it still allows you to go Plasma and Static Link.
Still a little bit surprised he didn't go for it earlier in the lane. Not that he really needed it, but you'd think, like, how much does it actually push? Every 5 seconds you get 100 damage nuke to a creep. I think a Viper that can't really push. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to like push the wave. That would only help the Viper at that point. Plus, if it was ever a dangerous situation, he'd probably just get a skill in the break, and then it's not going to help him anyway. So
yeah, true.
It's probably more valuable just to keep that Static Link, because that's the real victor in that lane versus the Viper.
A Bounty Hunter. They have a lot of deep wards here, does SG.
Yeah, they're trying to find the courier. They want to see where it's moving to.
Man, they're obsessed with this courier.
I mean, that's the life of a bounty. It's not all about just killing it every single time. Obviously, it still gives you a lot of vision and ideas as to where heroes are rotating just by seeing where the courier goes. But the dream is still, of course, killing it as much as he can. Yeah, he needs to find it on the return. And now the passive is back here, and he might not get there in time. All right, here we go.
He's going to take a couple right clicks. 1 and 2. He will get it. Too slow on the fingers. And that is a tome that will be on the deck for another 3 minutes. I assume that was for AA. So stuck at level 4 perpetually, it seems.
Yeah, more than likely. Tusk doesn't necessarily need those levels in comparison to that hero, so.
Yeah, the invulnerability on the courier is a 200-second cooldown, so nothing to scoff at for sure. As AM now, QO, 70 last hits to his name in this bot lane. Doing quite well. Perseverance, going for that Battle Fury. The newly built Battle Fury. It feels very weird to be able to buy these items. The Demon Edge.
Yeah. Oh, it's quite nice. Laposa, level 6. He is closing in there, though. So he needs that big Blink Dagger. He's going to get it. And, of course, his race towards it will be much faster than Forev.
Oh, we got a snowball into the Blink, and right-click should suffice. Gets telekinesis on the other side, but you have to think this is a kill one way or another. Here are the rotations, though. Chaos Knight's here with the Reality Rift into a Burrow Strike. They're going to find Tusk, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, but that is quite the rotation just for a support kill. See if they can transition this into a Tier 1 tower, perhaps. And Kyo just TP's top with Forev, and they're just going to push or farm.
Yeah, bottom lane, I mean, they're even grabbing these creeps with the Reality Rift, trying to push this as fast as possible. So Forev's going to come down here and try and answer it. See if he can get rid of these waves and stop the push. But Phantasm, 15 seconds. I'm guessing Kostabile just wants to commit to this.
Yeah, that cooldown
Perhaps
on Phantasm, pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I mean, if you have some plans with it, you definitely want to get them off as soon as possible when it comes back, just so you're keeping that rotation down. But they're rotating more and more heroes down here, so this is seeming less and less likely. And more of the heroes from the Dire are focusing mid lane. Yeah. Oh, this is familiar.
Plasma Field. Oh, okay.
Not quite close enough.
Laposa is here with a Burrow Strike available, level 3.
With the Rubik spotted, though, he doesn't want to come any closer.
They've definitely thwarted this, does MP and company.
He also dropped off a tome to the bounty.
Lane, though, we have a coil onto the Chaos Knight into a Tusk stun. That is an easy kill on the position 1 Chaos Knight.
Man,
so Immortals.
They were yelling over there. They were very hyped up about that kill. And it was a nice grab thanks to that ward that was down there. Easy to catch him.
Oh, there we go. Rubik steals the Nether Toxin. So
we're in.
We'll see how they can use this to full effect or not. So AM gets destroyed from break. Who else? Obviously Viper himself to some degree with the corrosive skin.
I think in this, well, actually it's decent, right? They have some pretty heavy magic nukes, the maxing of the Shuriken, the Epicenter, so those would be the two big ones he'll be looking to combo with. And Bounty Hunter on the Bounty Runes, and, well, he'll take away yours, but he gives you a nice little Bounty Rune over your head here as QO will be tracked around.
You know, even though he's on, I know this is level 25 talent, and I know that Viper's on his team, but in theory, would you consider Viper a potential counter to Anti-Mage because of that break and the potential silence at level 25? I got told that thought.
Yeah, definitely.
As Rubik looks like he's going to be initiated on. Steals Blink, though. Nicely done from Bardinho. QO, though, with the Mana Void. Not nearly enough to get the kill. Only a level 1 skill right now. And the Shrine will keep the Rubik healthy.
All right, and that's, of course, one of the best steals in the game for a Rubik player. Meanwhile, mid lane, Dream Coil onto the Bounty Hunter, and then bursted down here for Rev. Grabs his easy first kill there, thanks to that sentry. And that tower does finally fall in the bottom lane, though.
And top lane, more action. Looks like Bardinho's going to telekinesis QO closer to him, in fact. But he knows that Mana Void is down, so AM probably won't be able to pick up a solo kill for himself, especially with the backup here in both Laposa and Kostabile.
This is a really tough kill to get, though.
You like saying Kostabile.
Kostabile.
Very Italian. I like it. Now Kyo's going to blink out to safety. Looks like we have some more rotations coming in. Might have a team fight overall. Forev, nope. Coil for another 30 seconds. So he's going to jump in with Waning Rift, and they're just going to destroy the Rubik. Here comes the Ice Blast. Beautiful Burrow Strike in addition. Febby gets off his punch, attempting to run away, but looks like he's going to drop. Gets off the dust, though, in the meantime. Reality Rift finishes him off. That's the first track kill of the game for SG, as Dubu will be next on the list. It's a 2-for-1. And ADR really wants to get Forev here. Does have the illusory orb, but a couple more right clicks might suffice. He's still in a lot of damage. 112 to boot. Another phase shift, 2 more right clicks, and he will get the double kill. Beautifully done from SG.
So many things look good that fight from Immortals. I mean, you have a shards that are blocking them all in. You got Viper right up in the mid lane, not helping. So one issue, I suppose. But you have the Ice Blast landing on 3, and not able to clean it up, though. Just get that first initial burst onto the Rubik, and from there, it was just downhill.
So back on Nether Toxin watch for Rubik. He has stolen it again. It's level 2 right now. Now, the unfortunate thing for him, even though, again, this is level 25 talent, talents cannot be stolen. So
True.
it will never be able to silence, unfortunately for him, but still, the break, pretty freaking strong. Even just a value level, even a level 1. How does that actually scale with the break? Let's see.
It's just always break, which is nice.
Okay,
But
so
the
it's just
resistance reduction does go up, so.
Yeah, that's quite nice. Thought the duration might be a little bit less, but doesn't look like it.
It's quite the skill.
8-second duration, 5-second cooldown. How is that? How is that a thing?
Next patch, you'll be able to skate on it like AA. It'll go really fast.
I'm so sad they got rid of the AA talent, honestly. Febby might be in a little bit of trouble here. Bounty Hunter with the track available. Costabile. Can't not say that in
Must
Italian.
be Italian.
Yep.
Top
Oh
lane,
my god,
oh.
he actually ends up in the trees. Gets off the snowball into the creeps, and he'll be safe. So RNG favoring Immortals.
Yeah, he's not getting very lucky on the CK this game. He's just banking it for later, I think. Like, get all the bad RNG out of the way early, and then every single Phantasm later on, every single stun.
Yeah, that's how it works,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds about right.
We have a smoke here from Immortals, but don't think they're going to find anybody as the last member TP's out to safety.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The Bounty Hunter right now sitting on Arcane Boots and is level 7.
Really trying to get a gank off with this Arcane Rune on the puck. Mid lane, they're in a good spot here. This could be the big play they need, but Tusk is a little low on mana, so...
Oh, oh god, his RNG is so bad this game. Oh, the Ice Blast coming in. It's going to get 1, it looks like, maybe more. And the coil does connect on 3. I don't know if they actually want to fight here, but ADR getting a little hasty here. The Tusk does die. Dubu runs away. Haste applied, or Bounty Hunter track applied. But don't think he'll be able to find it unless there's a creep. Oh, God. Oh, he could have gotten it. Ooh. What level is it? Yeah, it's a level 4 Shuriken. That definitely would have been a kill. The range on the bounce is redonkulous.
I wasn't a big fan of the AA pick when they grabbed it, but so far, Dubu's kind of playing to like maximum potential. It's very surprising they're not cleaning up a lot of these fights. He seems to be always hitting these 3-man Ice Blasts. They just can't quite get it comboed up with like the Veil from the Viper or the big burst from the puck. The problem I see with the AA this game is that he can't really clear waves or help out in that, which is, of course, what AIM's going to need. Speaking of which, down bottom, he's chasing Laposa. Goes for the ulti, too, but again, QO just... He's not finding the damage with these ults.
Yeah, it is a level 2 ult now, though, so it does do a decent amount of damage, but not much mana missing in that scenario. Again, Rubik Watch, still Nether Toxin again. Just keeping you guys up to date on this. Tholico right now in the top lane, Bounty Hunter, scouting out Febby, who uses Snowball already. He might be in a lot of trouble. Static Link, the track, extra gold going the way of SG, as they have a 6K lead right now.
He's just going to be perpetually poor this game on someone like the Tusk. I mean, you look at Rubik and his last hits, he's got 23 already, more than the combined, almost double the combined of the 2 supports from the Radiant. Obviously, Bounty Hunter is not really going to be farming waves or anything like that, but it's just nice to have a support that can take advantage of all of this space. And it's not just space that you might get here as someone like Dubu on this game. It's just trying to keep one of these waves shoved to like keep creating that space for your anti-mage. It's just not really something the supports can provide this game. So we might end up in one of those situations where we had that early bots, for example, on the Viper in our OG game, and it felt kind of awkward.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a smoke here as AM is hiding in the trees. SG wanted to pick him off, but definitely not going to find him this time around. Bardino, you got the Nether Toxin. You don't have the blink. You are silenced. You are dead. They're actually just walking away. He actually steals Snowball. He might live for a little bit longer. Ag's picked up by the Razor. Is that RNG? He actually gets it this time. 2 extra Chaos
Bardino's
Knights.
still alive.
Beautifully done. He's going to attempt to run away. Ice Blast is applied, though, with the Armlet. He's in a lot of trouble. His Q is going to come finish him off with ease. And that ends up being a 1-for-2 in favor of Immortals.
Oh,
as
but
the
wait.
Burrow Strike does apply, and that they're going to find the AM. That is a huge kill for SG.
This guy's godlike. He's 9-0.
Forev, in the meantime, gets the Waning Rift off. Burrow Strike is available shortly. Oh, he's going to dodge it with the phase shift. Nicely done. Unfortunately, not going to have any more escape mechanisms, so that's another kill going to SG, and they're just going to run into Febby. They're just finding kills.
Can I get 11? Can I get 11 kills on
Good
40 right now?
Lord. Yep, there you go. Triple kill.
Someone killed them. It says it right up top.
All right, this is the thing. He went Ags. This is an awesome build. We don't really get to see that too often anymore, and especially with the talent change. Level 20 minus 0.1 Eye of the Storm strike interval. Doesn't sound like that much, but in combination with Ags is disgusting.
Yep.
And expect him to perhaps even go Refresher. And with that, you can literally just push by yourself, take on entire racks.
I mean, that's
Pretty
the big
scary.
thing, right? We've talked about timing window drafts this whole tournament, and they've been largely unsuccessful. I think yesterday the second game was kind of the first game where it really felt like, hey, they have a window, and they actually hit it. Nailed it on time, got the victory because of it. So this itemization from the Razor is trying to go with that exact same goal here for ADR.
Yeah,
See if they
and
can actually get these buildings down.
I mean, the window's definitely there. They're playing against an AM, so probably don't want to take it too late, as he hasn't quite come into his own yet, but still has some time technically. Of course, it is a 6K lead for SG, so pretty substantial at the 22-minute mark. They just got to create more space for him. Puck right now has the Blink Dagger, looking towards a Yule's next. Any items that are coming through here for, say, MP has Veil of Discord. We'll be going for a Hurricane Pike. So nothing I would say that's too crazy. Like nothing like a Blink for,
No.
like the Sand King, for example.
We just want to wait for...
oh my.
it's mostly the items on the Dar, I think, where like the Rubik Blink obviously will be the next big one, but currently we have the Blink Yules on the Sand King. They're smoking up. They want to kill, and they have a Medallion on the Bounty Hunter. So one pick is just instantly into Roche.
Yeah. And they're going to smoke up. Razor takes down a tier 2 by himself. Of course, that Ag's super, super good for pushing these structures.
You can see Forev, too. He's making these big plays in the mid lane. This is the kind of stuff he has to do this whole game. It's basically on just him to keep the waves. Viper can do what he can, but it's the AM and the Puck who are the really mobile ones who can try and like snipe things near the racks and try and fool around with the side of SG.
Yeah,
and again, Forev grabs another
Burrow
wave.
strike onto the anti-mage. What does he steal? He steals Blink, so he could be okay here. AA Blast coming in. CK pops his ult, dealing so much damage, and Tusk being taken out immediately in this fight, but AM does get out safely. And with that, the fight breaks up.
He's trying to get out, but no, he's spotted. Dubu will go down.
Gonna be the sacrificial lamb, but could have been worse. You lose 2 supports. You do a lot of damage to this tier 1 mid.
I like that Leposa went for the Yules right after the Ice Blast came out, so he couldn't just pull the trigger on it. Make sure that his allies would be safe from the Ice Blast. All they got was the pass over.
MP looks like he's going towards a Halberd, actually, this game. Going to be super good against somebody like the Razor. Not great against CK, but evasion is pretty nice either way, actually. So it is decent against CK. This tier 2 tower is going to die.
MP has no TP up here. I think that's might be what they're pinging, too.
The Olocore here at the top lane with the Rubik. Might want to find the Viper. AM is super hard to kill without somebody like the CK being able to perma-stun him. This BKB is picked up by that CK now. Bounty Hunter just... He's tracking Viper without using track, if you get my meaning. Thank you. That was actually really bad. But I appreciate the fake
I'd like to
laughter.
see the footprint thing. I think that'd be a pretty cool buff for Bounty Hunter.
A buff?
Yeah, if he could like see footprints from where people were. That'd be neat. He's a tracker.
Yeah, that's
Come on
true.
now.
Only he could see it, or his teammates?
Well, his teammates, too. Only if he's there.
So if he's like within...
Yeah,
300
certain range.
AoE
All
or
right, anyway, we
something?
don't need any more buffs for Bounty Hunter. It's fine. Solar Crest done. AA in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's going to be a kill going the way of SG. Just clean them up nice and simple. BKB picked up officially by Razor. So with your 2 cores having BKBs, and you're able to take down these tower with ease, both with the Ag's Eye of the Storm and eventually CK ult, which is up in 10 seconds.
Things looking good, man.
It can get.
The checklist, they are swiping off some boxes here. Tier 2 mid, check. BKB, check. Use Midas, check. Go get Roche.
Yep, top lane, we do have a snowball. Febby
a-
might be regretting that.
that's a
Burrow
Febby
strike
Dota.
into a telekinesis. Gets the Walrus punch off, trying to create as much space as possible.
Nice. I mean, they still have Yules. They're just holding it.
Yeah, they're going to find him one way or the other. In the meantime, in the bottom lane, BKB popped by the CK. Very low, but doesn't look like he's going to die right here. They don't have
hanging out.
vision. Yeah, he's going to live to see another day. Not sure what happened here, though. Something happened in this bot lane that forced the BKB.
That explains the Febby space creation. That ward will go down here that was there, but it was almost dead anyway. Oh, and then puts another one down for the Olocore, but Dubu just spotted it, so
I just realized the CK ult actually at level 1 you only get one guy anyway, so he actually wasn't getting bad RNG continually.
You still have a chance, right? Extra Phantasm chance 50%. That happens at level 1 too.
Oh, okay, I see.
You're not wrong.
Okay, I was correct for once. Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks, Trent.
Yeah.
Just highlighting that.
Interesting, this game we're going to see the Aghanims by the look of it on QO. So most competitive matches you tend to see the Lincolns first.
Yeah.
I think Ace was the one talking about it on Twitter, just in terms of like, I mean, it's exactly what you think, right? Better stats. It's more common stuff that you want from AM, so you can just like blink everywhere.
And you don't really have a silver edge carrier on SG.
Yep.
And it reflects track, which is super nice. Being able to find Bounty Hunter, which, speaking of Bounty Hunter, he's going to just drop dead of his own accord. Ice Blast finishes him off. So
yeah, that's actually a
nice
fantastic reason for it this game, too. Like, there's some heroes that you really don't want the Aghanims against when you think about, like, Duel or maybe even, like, Sunder and stuff, but this is one where you, like, want it against.
There is another skill, though, that you don't want, is Burrow Strike. You will be relocated to the new location.
Fair enough.
And I don't know how Phantasm probably works really weirdly, but we'll have to wait to see that.
What are you talking about?
Or not Phantasm, Reality Rift. Same hero, Reality Rift.
You're getting there, one step at a time. But the Aghanims,
it's like a double Reality Rift. I don't know. That sounds super weird, actually.
Well, it cancels the first one, right?
Yeah, it cancels the first one, and then he ends up going. I mean, the animation can't be good, though. I'm just trying to imagine this, and knowing the state of the game right now, there's no way the animation looks good. We'll see, though.
A little surprised they haven't found their way into the Roche pick quite yet. I guess it's not the easiest for them. With the Aghanims on Razor, though, it feels pretty good. But either way.
This is pretty risky, though. I feel like this Ags is still a little bit risky, Trent.
Risk is another good reason not to go in the Roche pit, though, actually, just because they do have a Puck, they do have a Tusk, they Ice Blast, so... And they're probably just saving the Aegis, too, for that exact moment when they really want to go high ground, when they feel fully prepared. So I don't know if that's going to be Heart, though. That feels a decently far away, but we still have the 10-second BKB available on the Razor. We have that 9-second one on the CK, so I think we're inching closer and closer towards it.
By the way, Tusk went for 90 gold per minute over 40 XP.
That is interesting. Probably just because he really wanted his Blink Dagger this game before it was over.
Yeah, and he has it, so... That's definitely been accomplished, but...
I've thought about this a little bit just because items are more important, I would say, than levels on Tusk, honestly. Like, some of his later talents are amazing, sure, but if you want these big plays... Because he needs to save his AM this game, right? So if you don't have a Blink and stuff, it's very difficult to go for that.
Yeah, Kyo officially does have the Agonist server. We'll be going both Ags and Lincolns, actually. So... Going for the even weirder interactions overall.
Yeah, I think most games when you get the Eggs, you tend to get the Lincolns too. The Eggs does proc first. But
it's supposed to proc
finally
first.
It's time.
And,
it will.
And Roshan.
Gotta believe.
This is another change to the Roche pit. Illusions will not auto die when they attack. They'll just deal 20% damage.
Yeah, that's nice, eh? And they tank too, which is really great.
Yeah. So this will be an easy Roche going the way of SG. Question is, who takes this? I would hate to see CK take it.
Well, it's tough, right? Because obviously it's kind of that classic. He's almost a transformation hero in the Razor when it comes to his ultimate, so you have those kind of issues.
He's actually going Sheepstick on the Razor. Pretty cool. We talked about this item being buffed up since you cannot dispel it anymore with like a Diffusal Blade or literally any dispels for that matter. So it's a very consistent disable now, as we're going to see an aggressive fortification, actually, as these creeps are invulnerable. Lose your orb, used to take out this wave, 4DR. Doing a little bit of damage, but in the meantime, QO does take out the tier 2 himself, and this is the annoying thing. You talked about the split pushing, not only with the Puck, but AM as well. You're going to see this time and time again. I mean, SG, they have this window, but with a split pushing combination like this, it's going to be hard to execute.
Yeah, I think they've performed exceptionally well. A lot of the times I've been looking at these lanes, and they're way further out than I would expect them to be. Just because the wave push does look very nice on the side of SG Red. I guess the problem is that you have this core CK who's super scary for the enemy heroes, but in terms of wave push, he's not that fast, so it's mostly just on the Razor and the Sand King. Rubik's been helping out quite a bit as well, but overall, it's not a stunning like wave push victory or anything for the Dire, and so that's just enough where someone so amazing like Anti-Mage and someone who's so great as Puck that can be grabbing these waves and keeping you in the game like that. And now another great steal from Bardino, able to survive.
Oh, he was bait. He wanted that blink real bad.
Yeah, but then he has to be careful, though, because if he instantly dunks him, that's kind of an AM classic, right? You just blink on a Rubik and dunk him, and then he's dead.
True. He's got some balls on Bardinho, that's for sure. Loser Orb, not going to scout him out as Forev's taking out this wave. Has an Aghanim Scepter himself, so the break will now go through BKB, and the coil itself will last longer.
So we need the, this is the play, right? The Febby Ags. That's what we need, because obviously we have to focus on the snap these days, and they don't really have anything natural, right? They have a Force Staff, probably? Maybe they don't, actually. Because, yeah, he stopped building that Hurricane Pike, so they don't have a Force Staff.
Walrus kicking out of the
Yeah, that's the play, man. We need the Febby Ags.
That's pretty sick, actually.
That's why he went for the 90
Love
GPM.
These theory crafting. Oh, they're going to find Anti-Mage. I think they were pretending to push this bot lane, trying to bait things in. They're going to try for it, but Rubik looks to be the initiation instead, as QO. Yeah, the Ags coming in handy, that's for sure. And even that extra illusion being left behind is just pretty ridiculous. CK, essentially no mana right now. Looking towards a heart, pretty close to finishing that, actually. But there's a certain point where CK he starts dropping off. Same with the Razor. I am as well. MP getting static linked. Razor pops the BKB. He has a lot of damage. He's going to attempt to TP out of this. Ice Blast does connect. Febby not able to get there in time with the Walrus Punch to cancel the TP. And 40R, ADR will be fine. I keep alternating between names.
Look how annoying this is. He's still chasing down the Sand King and pushing the wave because of these illusions he's leaving.
Yeah.
That's actually rather absurd.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
It's quite a good talent.
It seems to be an alright talent here.
And he did go for the 10 all stats this time instead of the 300 blink cast range. Of course, different game than the other day where Resolution was flaming on Twitter.
Relentlessly. Darth Vader was force choking. That poor decision.
We do have a smoke here from SG. Let's see if they can get a pick off here. They desperately need something to be able to open up this high ground push. They're going to find the Viper. Burrow Strike is applied. He's tracked up, and Viper completely alone here. Gets the break off on Bounty Hunter.
Oh my god, this could be it.
Yeah, he might actually get the kill on Bounty Hunter, actually. He will find it. It'll be a trade for his life in all likelihood.
Okay. He has no buyback.
He has no
We still
buyback.
have Aegis.
All right, Halberd.
This might be the moment.
Halberd kept him alive a long time, I have to say. Pretty damn good item.
And he has the Hurricane Pike now, too, so that actually is something that we can use with the coil until Febby finishes his Aghanims.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, trying to find this pesky puck. Oh, actually will. Burrow Strike will miss,
he's been
though.
so good on this game, actually.
Forev, you are so annoying. SG is probably pulling out their hair right now. As their lead, it was 8K, I believe, and it's dwindled down slowly but surely thanks to this split push, delaying the game inevitably for AM to get super ginormous. It's only 3K now. Doesn't feel like that much. And we haven't really seen this Razor Ags being put to good use in these fights for pushing and whatnot.
Yeah. I guess it is definitely still a good farming tool, though, right? In terms of like split pushing and everything, but that big play that you look for with the building push hasn't really happened.
They've been super beefy, though. So Razor ended up changing his build from a sheep stick into a heart, and will now be going for butterfly. But their two cores have so much HP right now. QO gets stunned for a second. Nicely done, but the Tusk is there with the save. Reality Rift and Phantasm are used to full effect, but that's going to be the death of the Bounty Hunter if you're getting any tracks off. QO has blink up in 2 seconds, should be okay. Costabile, see the static link going to work as well as Bardinho has the blink again. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, support for support. Not a whole lot accomplished for SG. I mean, this is a big-time ultimate in Phantasm. You don't want to have to use in situations like that. They're going to find MP, though, very tanky. Let's see if they can actually get this. He's at half health. This might be enough to actually find this kill. Nether Toxin again stolen.
Yeah.
And as a result, the Corrosive Haze, or Corrosive Skin, does absolutely nothing. 4DR, though, stuck inside that coin. Remember, cannot walk out thanks to that Aghanim Scepter. Chaos Knight, Mana Void applied, but not enough damage to actually take him out. Has that Armor and Heart going to work. Tusk Snowball coming in. AM completely surrounded. Burrow Strike with the Ags. He reverses it.
Oh,
AA Blast hits 2, maybe 3. It's going to be the death of the CK. And 40R looks to be next on the list for QO. Just right-clicking. It's absolutely no mana. I hear
he did it again, dude.
Going to work as well.
He phase shifted it again.
What a god. 40R attempting to run away, but he's going to tick down to the A. In the meantime, Puck gets off the Illusory Orb, taking a lot of damage. Will he actually go there? Has his blink up. Could go backwards. Yules. This hero is so hard to kill. Burrow Strike will apply. SG finally get that pesky puck.
And he just bought that gem, too.
Yeah, that's a big, big pickup.
So now they have both, one on the Rubik and now Bounty Hunter's holding the other one. So good stuff, but overall, I think you got to call that a victory for the Radiant because they've just now taken away, obviously, the Aegis is well gone.
Yeah,
and,
they delayed the game. QO still healthy. The Hearts are being completely counteracted in a lot of ways by the AA ult. They both were hit by the Ice Blast.
Oh, man. This game's going to start to look a lot like yesterday if we see any more Lincoln Spheres, too, right? I mean, you have the one on AM. He has the Aghanim Scepter. We have a Scythe, rather, over on the side of SG. So they're going to be hunting for this anti-mage.
Yeah,
Oh, so rich, too.
I think the Aghanim, I feel like you might need to just buy Silver Edge on somebody because that Burrow Strike, I mean, that literally got him out of that fight. He was perfectly fine because of the reverse Burrow, or the echoed Burrow, I should say.
And he's also going for the minus 50-second Mana Void cooldown over the 30% spell
Hell
shield.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I love this skill. It's so good.
So 20-second CD.
Yeah, you can use this. I mean, he's not dying in fights. He's going to use it at least twice.
Yeah, and I would say the magic damage is not very substantial at this point in the game, right? You have CK and Razor, both heavily physical damage-based cores. So I kind of agree. Plus, we're always going to have the stolen passive anyway from the Rubik. Passive breaking, that is, rather. So I agree with this choice this game. It's also nice because now you can just dunk whenever you see Rubik and make sure he doesn't steal Blink.
Yeah, that's definitely true. AM working towards the Abyssal Blade. Has enough to finish it. Will not have buyback if he chooses to actually buy this right now. Still doesn't have buyback, in fact. Could be potentially risky. If they get a big kill on AM, they could literally end this game, honestly. They have so much push. So pretty risky maneuver here from QO.
All right, 4 Phantasms. There it is. He stocked it up.
He got it.
Got his luck.
Now go farm the jungle.
Yep, perfect.
They're going to find QO. There's a reflection.
Oh, my God.
He's going to blink out, and the illusion stays there. He's in the trees. They
saw
don't
him.
know this.
Nice sight.
He's tracked. He gets sheeped. Do they actually have enough damage to finish him off? He's just going to blink again. And the Burrow Strike will not connect. Aghanim's is still there, though. And Laposa might be turned on here as QO just feels super tanky, essentially invulnerable.
Oh, he just blinked in, though.
Walrus punch onto Bounty Hunter. Looks like the first engagement. AM dies right off the bat. No buyback at all. Laposa gets off the epicenter. It's only going to connect on Forev for now. Costa Bile has all his illusions. They're about to dissipate,
That was so greedy.
Yeah, he blinked in aggressively, and it pays the price. 3 dead for Immortals. Of course, keep in mind, SG doesn't know that AM does not have buyback, and of course, Phantasm's down.
They know they have to force it anyway, though,
Yeah,
so they're 100% going to go for this
Razor ult's
push.
coming back up, Trent. This is going to do some work, I
Oh,
think.
my God. They've been so patient this game, too. Like, we can see it. I'm sure they can feel it kind of slipping away. Just, okay, it feels like we've been in control this whole game. How have we not cracked a tier 3?
I'm
We've
actually
been whittling
shocked.
them away.
Okay, Razor actually did not go the talent I thought he would.
Yeah, I know. He went to the armor
very
instead.
strange, but armor's obviously very good. Has the Solar Crest applied, and that's a tier 3 going down in quick succession. As Costa Bile and company are taking out the tier 3 in mid. They're looking for 2 racks here as AM's down for 47 seconds.
Still have BKB on the CK.
Yeah, Burrow Strike
BKB now
onto
back on the
Viper.
Razor, too.
They're just creating space as Razor's soloing down these racks. Absolutely no problem. Look at how fast he takes this. And Immortals forced to give it up, and at this point, SG's like, all right, AM definitely doesn't have buyback at this point.
Have to go for 2 here. But what did we see yesterday? It was the same situation. 4 racks down, and Anti-Mage was still able to pull through.
Oh, here we go. Here's the initiation. Ice Blast coming in with the coil applied only to 1 hero, though. It's a long stun thanks to that break. But I do believe it's going to be at the very least the melee racks going down. And at this point, I believe SG needs to get out. Burrow Strike, nice Ice Shards blocking 2 in, but they're going to force staff to safety.
They're looking
Yule's
for the turn.
onto Razor. AM's back in 3 seconds. Phantasms pop. They're going to jump in. They're going to destroy the Viper right off the bat. Do they want to continue? AM is back in the fray. Oh my God, Febby gets instant, buys back in the game immediately. QO blinks out to safety, can't really aggress. We've seen that one too many times this game. But this is 2 racks either way for SG. They can get out happy, or they can try to continue this, knowing that 2 are dead. 5 versus 3.
I don't want to see a repeat of yesterday. They're going for it.
Oh my. Well, a lot of these illusions are dying, but this Rax is taking massive, massive damage. Razor's ult's about to go out, though. 30 seconds on the deck. Here comes
God, Bardino.
Oh, yeah, what in God's name was that initiation from Rubik? Looks like he's just creating space for that melee Rax. Epicenter comes in, not doing a whole lot of damage, but again, they can get mega creeps. This will be huge for them. Forev jumps in, trying to apply as much pressure as possible as everybody else is focusing on the Rax.
Still
Objective
a Razor
base
BKB.
Gaming. Puck jumps in with the coil onto. They do not care. That is another Rax, which means Mega Creeps goes the way of SG. They have full buyback, and I don't even know what to say. This feels like a big throw. This feels like a huge throw this game.
I wouldn't even say a throw. I think it's just patience, honestly. They finally found their moment. They were kind of playing pretty flawlessly, right? I don't think they had the best split push.
Well, I meant more the AM blinking in that fight.
Well, I know, but, I mean, just a hard game, man.
Razor trapped inside. Looks like he'll fall. Ice Blast does hit. That is a team wipe for Immortals. But again, every single member for SG has buyback.
I absolutely love that play mid when they were going for that second set of racks in the mid lane. They started to kind of back away and fake it, and you could see Rubik was waiting and setting up, just waiting for that one stun setup, so they go right back in with that stolen Ice Blast, help them secure the double lanes, and then eventually the Mega Creep. Such a fantastic way to burst that Viper instantaneously.
Man, best of one again.
All right, we've seen 4 racks.
Match.
A comeback from AMH. Can he do it against Megas?
It's not
I'm
impossible.
Actually, yeah. I'm still a little
We
hopeful.
actually have double buyback, surprisingly, from SG. They want to counteract this. This could be a big mistake if it falls flat. They're going to kill Rubik right away. Buyback on CK as well. They really want to prevent this Roshan. Is this going to be enough?
Someone's got to get in there.
Coming in. Burrow Strike is there. Onto a bunch of heroes.
He's
you
stunned.
see the Razor come in as
He's
well.
forced out.
BKB is available. Age is taken by QO as Razor stealing tons and tons of damage, but a nice force set from MP. Doesn't really do much right now. CK gets off the Chaos Bolt, able to take him out. It's a 2-for-1 right now, but tons of buybacks coming through. AM dies, but that is the Aegis, of course. He will come back very shortly. Blinks out to safety. Can they find him? If they get this, this is 100% over. His Ancient Apparition looks to be dead. SG just cleaning every hero up. AM looks like he'll be okay if he wants to, but Puck might be in some trouble. Phase shift into Illusory Orb. He gets Burrow Strike. Beautifully done. Nice job from Leposa as they find that, and the Mega Creeps are going to work on this Ancient. The tier 4's down, GG is called, and Immortals is eliminated from Dota Pit. Gracious me, oh my, Trent.
Anti-Mage is not immortal. You can win games against this hero, everyone. There is a chance.
Wow. That game, I feel like it turned upside down very suddenly.
They just seized their good moment right there. I mean,
SG built that lead, and then it started, going downhill just slowly but surely. Nice control from Immortals, and one mistake capitalized big time by SG.
Yep, and some really nice and clutch plays again inside the base once they finally got there. They didn't choke once they actually had their moment. They got everything the way they needed it, got the billings down, great steals by the Rubik, some space creation on the final racks for the Mega Creeps, and then those buybacks. A little bit risky, maybe, but got them into the pit, got them ready to fight when they knew they'd still be a little bit weak and discombobulated. So.
And I love the itemization from Razor. I love Aghanims on this guy. No, I'm surprised he didn't
He
go
must
the
have knew
talent,
you were
but
casting.
I know, seriously. At this point, that should be expected as you see the teams shaking each other's hands. So SG will continue on. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll see what the panel has to say about this beautiful, beautiful best of one. We'll be right back, guys.
Get the alpha, be the alpha.
The battle begins.
Rampage.
Dire victory.
With the Strafe Esports app, follow your favorite teams and players, and you'll never miss a match again. Strafe, everything esports. Download now on iOS and Android.
All right, folks, welcome back, and we've got a winner's interview as SG Esports move on to the next round of the lower bracket and eliminate Immortals. First of all, congratulations. How does it feel to win your first best of one in the lower bracket?
It feels good. I kind of felt I played really poorly because I was still asleep, but my team carried me, so it feels good, and we are ready for our next best of one against VP, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, very humble. I think you maybe played better than you give yourself credit for. But I want to ask you about the name change. In my head, you're the player formerly known as fucking A. Where'd that name change come from?
As I just told you, I played Hone, and I was fan of a guy named Tarano. I don't know if you knew. And he had a name called fucking A, and I thought it was pretty cool. I had to change my name in Latin home because they kind of segregate us there. So yeah, and I have been using that nickname, but everybody said wrong and pronunciation wrong in Brazil. So I just changed it, and to my surname, it's Costável. So yeah, I just changed because everybody mentioned wrong.
All right, very cool. I want to talk to you about the change of now South American Dota having a qualifier for every minor or major. Obviously, that's a big deal. Can you talk to us how that has just changed Dota for you guys being from a region that was previously underserved?
I think it benefits the scene as a whole. I think it was unfair as it was because we had to play in US East, so we had a very high ping. I don't think that's fair. So I think even though our competitive scene is much smaller compared to other regions, I think it's a fair enough opportunity to everybody, and it benefits the world, the Dota world as a whole, and much more our competitive scene.
Very good. How about this patch? How are you feeling about the changes? We saw Razor in that game look really good. Do you guys like the changes? Has it been hard to adapt to a patch that's so big?
I think every patch is a big change. I think that's very cool due to Ice Frog. It always changes the game tremendously, and I think that's really cool. And you just have to adapt some months, and then you're gonna get used to. But I think it's a great patch, and yeah, I think it's a great patch.
You guys have Virtus Pro coming up next. I'm sure you're feeling confident, but any thoughts about that matchup against the team that just won the last major?
Yeah, I think they're one of the best in the world, but you know, you can't play best all the times, and you can play better sometimes. So I think we have a better shot if they don't play their best, and we play better than we did in major. I think we had a good chance in major. We just let it slip against King Gaming. We should have won the series, I think, but yeah, I think we have a good chance.
And one last question. We talked a little bit before the interview about the best of ones. Obviously, it's scary no matter if you're the underdog or upper dog, but we talked about you guys being a really scary team because you're a little bit unpredictable. Do you think that you have a little bit of an edge in the best of ones? Do you think other teams might be afraid of you guys in those best of one elimination games?
Yeah, I think best of one's bad for both teams, as I said, but I think for other teams, they prefer best of three against us because we can just surprise them. But yeah, I think we have a little edge compared to other teams, but us, we don't like to play best one as well, but yeah.
All right, very good. Well, congratulations. I'll let you go. Thank you so much, man, and good luck going forward. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the panel. And my word, it's SG Esports that have found themselves in the second round of the lower bracket, boys.
Even with being the upper dog, they did manage to take it, and
The upper dog.
They look very good. They just look very good. I mean, they beat an AM going into the late game, 42 minutes in, just really good itemization. We saw both cores change to hearts in the late game, and plenty of armor. They just looked like the better team that game.
Yeah. Mont, what are you thinking? You were jiggling in your seat watching that one. I saw it.
It was
You can't
really
deny
interesting.
it.
I mean, Grant was talking about it the entire time, but ADR just went ham, like in that mid lane against Viper, and that felt like he just destroyed, honestly. And like I said, I really liked this CK pick during the draft. I thought that was one of the best things. And even with Q getting a ton of farm, they just couldn't close out the game. They couldn't keep it going long enough, and just really good pushing too. And the Aghanim Scepter was a great choice, I think, as well from ADR. It was one of the best options he could have gotten for pushing.
And like you said, it was, I believe, 36-20 in the CS charts for Razor against 15-5 for the Viper. So the Razor just absolutely demolished in middle. QO farmed like an AM is going to do. We saw Vici run like that one core kind of thing like they tried to do here. But the team fight was so good. And Laposa, man, chasing around that puck all game, he was finally going to get him. And then that last one, he times it perfectly, gets the puck. And they just look really good. It's best of ones. And like you said, shout out to back in Han, Toronto, one of the best players in Han ever. Never came to Dota 2 really, but, a legend in his own right. Now look at them. They're winning games at minors and majors.
Yeah, it's awesome to see some of these old school players now transitioning into a full-time Dota career. Watching that game, I understand why the Bounty Hunter has been first banned. Kind of hit or miss. We've seen some matches where he's been ignored, and Fnatic, again, the team that's been banning him out every game. He got a lot of work done that game, and not even in the mid. Like you were saying, that mid matchup was mostly a 1v1. We've got a replay here to take a look at, and I think this is one of the moments when SG really starts to get a lot of momentum.
Yeah, and that was a nice split up by the CK. He dodged a snowball stun instantly with his ultimate. And on the backside, they're just chasing him down. Unfortunately, Armlet versus AA is always going to be a rough one.
Yeah.
This is like the one fight I believe Immortals actually won pretty nicely, but
they killed it. Yeah, they killed Q at the end of it. It ended up being a 2-for-2, but like you could see Costa Be just blew away one of the supports. I think it was the Ancient Apparition at the beginning of the fight with his ultimate, and just it was so strong at this point in the game.
Yeah, and the problem is they just could never bring down that Pucker AM in like the 20 to 30 minute mark until it hit about this time, and then Laposa, he was getting stuns, he had the 4-staff, eventually got the Hex, and once he got that Hex, they had so much lockdown even on that AM.
Yeah, this was that turning fight where it looked good for Immortals, but this is when ADR came down, he secured that godlike streak, and obviously just cleaned it up.
Yeah, they just had a better laning phase. I mean, they got so many track kills. Like, we've seen some of these Bounty Hunter picks where you get like 1 or 2 kills, and then you just feel useless because all you're doing is hitting for 150, throwing out a track, and then dying. But this game, he was all over the place.
And also, that CK talent now where it reduces the cooldown on Phantasm, that shit's pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous. The last time I was like, wait, does he have a Manta? How's Phantasm up again? And it's, I mean, they didn't even leave the base. It was Phantasm to push, and then they had it again to finish off the barracks. I mean, how do you deal with that? CK, baby.
I don't think they could with this lineup, and that's the big thing. It was such a good last pick. We were talking about it. We're like, who are they going to last pick? None of us called CK, and man, that CK is what put in so much work. He ended up with a higher net worth. I'd still say ADR probably played the best on that team, but Bardino as well had such a good job as that Rubik, always stealing Blink, so he had the initiation.
Yeah, no doubt. So a quick update on our bracket here. Of course, SG moves forward, so Virtus Pro will be their next opponent in the bracket. But up next here, we've got OG versus Fnatic. Should be one very exciting matchup.
Yeah, they're both really interesting matchups. I mean, these are the ones, right? So you think Virtus Pro, okay, they're probably the favorites in this matchup, but you don't know what's going to happen in a best one. But like we just saw, for example, I mean, you have absolutely no idea, especially with the picks that are coming out in this patch right now.
Yeah, I always talk about it's all about having that one best day. It was like a DC and the TI qualifiers looked so bad, and then on that last day they won best of 3, best of 3, best of 5 to qualify. It just takes one good day, and SG could have that one good day today and just win 3 best of 1s in a row.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. So with that said, folks, we are going to take a break, and then we're going to come back as the players have a chance to set up, for this next series. So go get some popcorn, top off those coffees, then come on back because we've got a lot more Dota 2 coming your way here on day 3 of the AMD SAPPHIRE Dota Pit Season 6.